Good evening, Galavant fans. I'm Jennifer with turningthepage2015.wordpress.com, soon to be turningthepage.com. Just wanted to record this brief introduction to the following interview. Um, this morning I was able to interview Mr. Timothy Omundson, who, as you know, plays the evil King Richard on ABC's Galavant. He's also been on Psych with the USA Network as Detective Carlton Lassiter, which he played excellently for 8 years. I think I just made up a word, but he played that part very well. I'm sorry, it's late. He also has played Kane on Supernatural, which you can catch on the CW. But very quickly, like I said this morning, Mr. Omundson was very kind and very nice to agree to this interview. I was able to ask him a few questions about Galavant and about Psych and Supernatural. I was not able to record any video. It was things just sort of happened, but I did manage to record the audio, which came out pretty well considering. I recorded it on my phone and put it on the computer, but hey, it works. So I just want to give a shout out. Thank you, Mr. Omundson, for taking time out of your life and out of your busy schedule for this interview. Also want to thank your publicist, Miss Weiss. Thank you very much for working with me over the past couple weeks to set up this interview. I also want to thank the Lexington Public Library for allowing me to use their facilities and their video equipment this morning. So I hope you all enjoy the interview. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. You can stay up to date on all things Turn the Page E by following me on Twitter at Observer101. I promise at some point I will create a official Twitter account for this website, but yeah, I have too many accounts already, so I might just use this one as my main account for the website. Also, Galavant fans, as you know, two things. Galavant returns for the second season here on January 3rd at 8 p.m. 7 Central on ABC. You can also catch up on all Season 1 goodness of Galavant. ABC recently released it on Hulu.com. They have released it on iTunes. For U.S. fans only, they've allowed us to download the first season off iTunes for free. I don't know about other countries at this time. I know it's a work in progress. Of course, you can always purchase Galavant Season 1 on Amazon.com. You can also find the soundtrack on there as well. I will post the links below where you can find these sources of Galavant legally. But other than that, I just want to say thank you for listening, and I hope you all enjoy the interview. So without further ado, Timothy Omundson.
Ask me some of your questions. Just wanted to see if you had anything else you wanted to give me real quick. Since you've actually seen the show, I assume you've seen the show.
It's awesome. I can't wait for season 2 to come up.
If you liked last season, this season's going to blow your socks off.
Can you give us any hints what's going to come up in season 2 with you and Galavant?
Yeah. Well, did you see the opening number?
Yes.
It's online.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so that's essentially a big spoiler of everything that's going to happen. And for me, specifically for Richard, where last season we broke him down, we went from this evil king to this pathetic man singing a lullaby to his best friend. This season, we build him back up. We build him into like $6 Million Man style. We build him better, and stronger, and faster, and we build him into this righteous man who finds love and struggles to be. We put him through hell. He loses his kingdom when Galavant takes him to his kingdom. He realizes very quickly that they've discovered democracy and have no use for him. So it's the philosophical question: what is a king without a kingdom? What is a man without a crown? Who is he? What does he do? And he decides that his quest and his mission will be to aid Galavant on his quest to get back and rescue Isabella, which isn't really a good thing because he screws everything up. But along the way, he sort of builds into the man that we all, I think, hoped Richard could be when the audience saw him. Went, there's something in this guy that you don't hate. He's just this pathetic buffoon, and we build him in something incredible. Where he may or may not become the one true king to unite them all.
That's gonna be very, very interesting. Trying to think. So she asked you the question about when did you hear about Galavant? Were you still filming Psych when you heard about it?
No, I'd been out of work with Psych. I'd been unemployed for a few months. And really, it was a big question in my life. What the hell am I going to do? I was on Psych for 8 years, coming back into the casting pool, a middle-aged character actor, which is a scary prospect. And I knew I wanted, if I had my perfect world, I knew I did want to go back, CSI Omaha, didn't want to do something like that. Because Psych was such an amazing, creative, wonderful job. And I read in one of the trades a list of pilots with a little sort of byline, which I basically read to see who I knew that had a pilot out there so I could hit them up for a job. That's sort of how it works. And I saw this thing, Fairy Tale Musical Comedy by Dan Fogelman. And I knew Dan Fogelman was, one of the hottest names in comedy. And I called my agent and said, it sounds really interesting. What? He's like, oh yeah, Galavant, I'm on it for you. And they got me in. They got me in the door, and it was one of the greatest auditions I ever had in my life. And it's one of those things where I read that script, and I knew what I wanted to do with it. I knew immediately what his voice sounded like and who he was, and how I wanted to do it. I knew if they hired me, this is what I was going to do. And Dan Fogelman agreed, and 5 months later, after they finally got rid of all the British movie stars that they had offered it to, one in a row, because the character's so amazing, ABC really wanted British movie star. They were finally able to hire me. And 3 weeks later, I was in jolly old England singing and dancing. It's crazy how life works out.
Yes, it is. But, and so was that you and Psych doing that high kick in the number, I've heard it both ways? Was that really you?
I'm very sorry to reveal that was not me.
What?
First of all, I'm not a great dancer. Second of all, that's sort of a lifetime of skill to do a high kick like that, which you weren't getting from me.
Okay. Well, it's still
Plus,
like you
a few of us suits were really tight.
But, well, thank you very much. I don't want to keep you too long. Thank you very much for doing the interview with our website. And I can't wait for for Galavant to come back on in January.
Yeah, it's, like I said, you're going to love it. It's the themes this year really, it's about love and redemption. And it's one of the greatest episodes, greatest seasons of TV I've ever been involved in. I've been doing this for a long time, and this is the icing on the cake.
Is there any chance you'll be back on Supernatural?
It's supernatural. Anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Anything can happen on that show.
Because we didn't see Kane die.
I got a call saying, come back and play.
Because we didn't really see Kane die, so it'd be interesting to see you back on that show.
And they edited it that way for a reason.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, of course. They always leave those doors open. It's such an amazing character and a fan favorite that you're not gonna stick him in the ground yet. I don't think. Maybe, I don't know.
All right. Well, thank you very much for this interview, and you have a good holiday.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said thank you very much for this interview, and have a good holiday.
You're welcome. Merry Christmas, dear.
Merry Christmas. Bye.
Bye-bye.